Supercell has killed another game, Clash Heroes is dead. But wait, what's this? They rebranded their channel to a game called Project Rise with a brand new video. Let's watch it. Okay, here's Vlad, he's community manager. Oh no! Oh no, I was gonna say he was the community manager of Clash Mini. Oh no, yep, Clash Mini and Clash Quest are both dead.
Sorry, I got some bad news, man. We decided to kill Clash Heroes as well.
Great, all 3 Clash games are dead. Look at, yep, Vlad's face. There it is, Clash Heroes.
Hey, what are you doing?
Whoa!
You're working here?
They're still working on it! Project Rise, it's coming back!
Okay, Julian, what happened to Clash Heroes and what is Project Rise?
Yes,
Clash
what
Heroes
happened?
is dead. That's
Okay,
the bad news.
it is
dead.
dead.
The good news is that Project Rise is still a Clash game. And the better news is that it's now a multiplayer-focused action RPG.
So wait.
So
Project
multiplayer
Rise is
focused
not
now,
Clash Heroes,
okay.
Nope.
But it's set in the Clash universe and built from the ground up.
Yeah,
as
why
a
not just call it
social
Clash
action
Heroes?
RPG roguelite.
That's right. You might recognize the art style and some of the assets from Clash
Yep,
Heroes.
this definitely
but
feels
everything else was built from
familiar
scratch.
from
Clash Heroes was a
old
single-player
Clash Heroes
experience.
gameplay that we've
Project
seen.
Rise is multiplayer first.
Incredible.
Ah, okay,
some
so
visual
one was more
parts of
single-player
Heroes are
dungeon
still
crawler,
around.
Legend of
The
Zelda
game's
like.
brand
This is definitely
and it
more
focuses on
multiplayer.
more of a
I actually like
social
that.
aspect of
That's
playing
cool.
Together with various characters rather than just you doing PvE dungeons.
In
Okay.
Project Rise, you'll be playing as a Clash character and teaming up with 2 other players to explore a
Nice,
mysterious
nice.
place only
Okay,
known as
so
the
with
Tower.
teams of 3,
Each
similar to
session
Brawl
takes place on a
Stars.
different floor of the tower, and teams try to get as high as they can.
Interesting.
the
Okay,
plan
so
now?
they
When
are
can we
going with
play
the tower
Project Rise?
We're
gameplay.
still very
The
early.
higher you go, the
But
better
we
you
want to
do.
invite you to try out a
Or the
pre-alpha
higher you
version
go,
of
the
game
harder it
and
gets,
tell us
or
what you think.
whatever.
We're aiming to have our first playtest in early July.
A
And you can find
public
the sign-up link in the
alpha
comments below.
test in
I've always
next
wanted to
month?
say that.
What?
We cannot be more excited to start test sessions with you and to hear feedback this early into development. Oh, and since you watched all the way until now, you don't even need to click the sign up link. Here is a QR code that you can scan.
Ooh,
and get
you guys
the
can
sign
scan
up
that
link
and sign up for Clash
We'll keep
Heroes.
testing
Or
in
I
the
guess,
future,
what is this
and
called?
we'll share
Project
updates
Rise
with
now.
you in this channel when we have more to show.
Oh
See
man.
you in the tower.
See you in the tower. Wow, that's insane. So Clash Heroes is coming back, kind of, in a brand new game called Project Rise. I guess that's either the name or that's kind of what it's being called for right now. Some initial thoughts that I'm thinking of right now is this going to be different than Moko? Moko is another brand new Supercell game that is currently in development, and right now it definitely feels like that dungeon crawler, beat 'em up monster type of game, MMORPG type. But I will say that game, at least from what I've played, has definitely been more single player based. There are some multiplayer aspects, but it's definitely like single player first, I feel like. So that's interesting that this RPG game is going to be focusing more multiplayer based. My initial thoughts are wondering why Clash Heroes died. They didn't really give a reason of why they decided to kill it, or I guess rebrand it as this, other than they thought multiplayer was a better direction to go than single player. But if I'm being completely honest, the old alpha that we've seen of Clash Heroes from the, trailers that they've shown us look very, very different than this. And if I'm also being honest, that was like years ago, I feel like, and it doesn't look like much has changed in terms of gameplay. So this, meaning in terms of developments, meaning that this still looks really, really early. And I feel like I'm hoping Supercell, especially if this is being developed in the Shanghai studio, the same studio that developed Clash Mini, I'm hoping that they learn from their mistakes with Clash Mini, because I feel like one of the biggest things is they released Clash Mini too early, and when they did release it, they released it, in a public open beta. One thing that I've been seeing other beta games, Squad Busters, when it was in beta and it went global, so you could consider that a successful beta development run, is they basically only let creators show off a little sneak peek of it because it was very, very early. They didn't let players have it, and then they just closed it. They only did it for like 2 weeks, and then they worked on it for a few months, and then they had another little test run for creators, then they closed it for another long time, and then I think they had it open just for 2 weeks as a public beta only for people in like Canada, I think, only for iOS or only for Android, I forgot, but it's still, again, still very, very small, and only for a couple couple weeks. Then, when they finally decided for it to go into an open public beta for everybody to try, they had already decided it was going global at that point. I mean, they announced it going global like a month after it being in beta. So they already knew. So I feel like there really was never like a public testing for Squad Busters with the way they decided to do the development plan. For Moko, I feel like they're going to be following a similar system, because so far right now, we've only had creators be able to show off sneak peeks of this game, and there's been no public playtest for this. So I'm curious why Clash Heroes, or I guess Project Rise, is not following in that same development plan, considering that Clash Mini basically was released too early and was given to too many people. So there was a lot of hype around a brand new Clash game because it was too early and not ready yet. People didn't like it. And then by the time Clash Mini did get ready, the hype was gone and the people that tried it weren't willing to try it in update 9 or update 8. If Clash Heroes is going to follow in the same footsteps, or they've learned from Clash Mini and they're going to apply what they've learned of what they've done right to this game and what they've done wrong to avoid doing to this game. Now, speaking about the gameplay itself, it looks very, very interesting. A multiplayer RPG game where you control a Clash character. We've never had that really ability to before, to control a Clash character like you control characters in Brawl Stars. And the fact that it's multiplayer, it's kind of like Brawl Stars and the Clash universe coming together, which is a really, really interesting idea. When the 3 Clash games were announced, Clash Heroes, Clash Mini, and Clash Quest, I feel like the majority was actually very, very excited for Clash Heroes and thought that game had the most potential. It's being developed in Unreal Engine, so it's going to be, graphics are, looking phenomenal. It's for right now, if you're wanting to play it in July, you're going to need high-end devices on iOS to be able to handle it at first. It's going to be cool seeing what Supercell can do with like a beefy game like this. And what's interesting is it, instead of like a dungeon crawler open world type thing like Moko is, this is going to be based in one area called the Tower to start off as. So this tower, you can probably guess, you start from level 1 and you go to level 2, level 3. The higher you go, the more levels you go, the harder the game's going to be. The more monsters you're going to see, the more bosses you're going to see. So you're definitely going to have to coordinate and work with your friends and with online players to be able to beat the game. Don't know if it's just a like, this is the story and you have to beat it, and then there's just end game content similar to like Moko and Squad Busters, or if there's going to be, like a competitive trophy system like in all the other Supercell games, or if it's just going to be like get together with your friends and play like with Brawl Stars. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting if this has any kind of sort of esports. It doesn't look like there's going to be PvP in this. It looks like you're just going to be with a team fighting against entities, so PvE, so you're just fighting against monsters. Who knows, PvP could potentially come into the future. Moko started with no PvP, and I believe they're working on including PvP in their next build. So yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. This channel was built on creating Clash Mini content, and I cover news considering any new Supercell game. Right now, it's just Squad Busters, but the fact that Clash Heroes is coming out next month, make sure you're subscribed, because we're definitely going to be making some Clash Heroes content, or Project Rise. You got to remember, Project Rise. Clash Heroes is dead, and Project Rise is rising from the grave. Maybe that's why they called it Project Rise. I don't know. Comment below if you think that's why they called it that. This is exciting that they're not just killing Clash Heroes. Looks like they did like a full-on reset, which is honestly, maybe that's what's going to save it. People are saying that Clash Mini just should have had a full reset and just worked on it, taken time and months or years to just work on it. It feels like Clash Heroes would have died, but they saw the potential in it, so they're like, you know what, let's just not talk about it publicly for a while, let's rebrand it, reset it, rework it from the ground up, and let's try it again, and that's what this is. So I really, really hope this works out. I feel like the Supercell community is dying to have another Clash game, and yeah, this is super exciting. So good luck to the Project Rise team, and let's see what happens.